Okay, good. Well, I wanted to introduce Jane, who's our wonderful moderator today. And then we have a great, amazing panel of drivers who came and really reorganized their shifts around to be here. So thank you all for spending your Friday with us, and I'll turn it over to Jane.
Awesome, thank you. My name is Jane Kamori. I'm an assistant professor in the Culture and Politics program, and I'm a member of the AAUP, the Faculty Advocacy Chapter's organizing committee. I'm so happy to be here with you all. Thanks so much for making the time for this. And I'm really honored because it's really important, not only because we care about you as our bus drivers, but as members of this community, as students and workers. Your struggle is our struggle, and an injury to you is an injury to us. And I think what happens here and what you're fighting for is really crucial for the future of this university. So thank you. I have a bunch of questions for you, and we'll just see how many we can get through. But first, could you introduce yourselves, your names, and how long you've been driving for Georgetown?
My name is Gitaun, last name Kofialo. I work Georgetown since 2018, almost 8 years.
My name is Noel Johnson. I've been with Georgetown since December 6, 2001. So this is my 25th year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's a long time.
When somebody asked me, I'm sorry, when somebody asked me, have you seen any significant changes in campus? I said, okay, I'll tell you one significant thing that happened in campus through the years. Before, there was a brisk business of alcohol down the hill. Now, it's been closed twice, right? So I gotta let you all know how proud am I to experience and witness the changing preferences of students through the years.
Well, Mike Fleming. I've been with university for 7 going on 88 December.
Thank you. So, guys, we're so lucky to have you here. And you do a lot more. I mean, you drive the buses, which is crucial, but there's a lot I think that goes into your day. Could you tell us what a work day is like for you, the things you do, and maybe especially things that we might not realize or see?
Well, first of all, he told me to be the one to speak. So I'm gonna take every opportunity to take it from him. First of all, the drivers of Georgetown, through the years I've been here, have been really selected based on certain criteria. And we went through training programs every year, and we have to pass a certain kind of certification every year. But the most important thing to understand is, for most people visiting Georgetown University, the hospital in Georgetown University campus, that doesn't drive themselves into campus, we are the first contact. So to them, we are Georgetown. So it's been drilled in our program through the years how to behave and treat people with respect, whether they seem to be homeless or from rich families. So you would always understand there are some people, even today, mingling around the campus, and we cannot report them to be, hey, you're inappropriately here. Because so long as they're just there, we cannot assume the worst of their particular intention, right? So, to me, this is something that has to really be understood by the current management. We were trained to respect and give deference to people, whoever they may be, whether they're paying tuition people, or sick, visiting the hospital, or just trying to see what the campus looks like. The current administration claimed, Mr. Green claimed, that he only thought about doing this change on July 3rd, and that he have reviewed different transportation companies to replace our service. So it doesn't make sense to me that he wouldn't even spend time to gather us together, explain his position, and present evidence that this is really going to be good for the university as well as the people that will be affected by it. We are the first casualty of that decision, but he didn't even seem to really regard us as substantially important enough to be at least be approached and be notified. So it goes against my experience with Georgetown, having to really somehow promote the notion of pura personalis. We've always thought and we've always have this belief that the students that attend the university, the Georgetown University, is supposed to project their learning to the greater world. And that the idea of education from the Jesuit perspective was to make the world a lot more fair, a lot more efficient, that the idea of progress is dedicated to the advancement of every individual. And Mr. Green doesn't seem to really appreciate that notion. It's just my opinion. I'm pretty sure he's very smart. I'm really pretty sure. But to me, he reminds me of like a surgeon who's very well experienced in his craft, but he wants to save money. He doesn't want to pay for the proper modern scalpel that costs right now $700 to $790 and wants to use a Ginso knife. Okay? So, okay, he knows what he's doing with the knife. It's both like knives, but more than likely, that patient will not survive that operation. So this is what's bothering me with Mr. Green. He didn't seem to really give us any kind of like respect. So how can I even think that he is respecting all those thousands of Jesuit priests that didn't really do their craft for money? They barely get paid. Most of their compensation is free board and lodging. But they built this university. You know, and it's in the hands of these people now in Georgetown deciding what that legacy would be able to be, continuously progressive, or in what he's thinking will save money. Well, you know, I personally told Mr. Green, do you remember, sir, that Rolex, because they want to save money on tariffs from this administration, accidentally revealed that their watches are made outside of Switzerland. I didn't even say China. Okay? And as soon as that was made public several months ago, Rolex value was cut in half. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, is that not, because he's saying the trend is for transportation to be contracted out. Okay, he didn't answer my question, but he did reveal a little bit about what he was doing by saying Howard University, George Washington University have contract transportation. But he didn't say, he failed to remind people that those two universities don't have the service like us. Those services were primarily an extension of their off-campus housing. It only goes from off-campus housing to campus. They don't connect these people to transportation hubs like the metro. No. Our GUTS bus connect people to metro and also connect our campuses from different areas together. Okay, so that's a little bit like misleading when he claims that the trend, when the trend never existed. Okay, so the more he speaks, the more suspicious I am with his particular, motivation, right? Then I realized, someone said, did you know the same guy and his group did the same thing to Ohio State University? So our power plant now is outside, our union, and they're no longer Georgetown employees. That same company is the same company that he contracted for Ohio State. So what he's trying to do to us is also do the same thing with transportation. So when he mentioned Howard and GW, he didn't even mention the fact that the drivers for those two organizations, transportation company, always wanted to belong to Georgetown. Why? They're low-wage transportation companies with barely any benefits. They say they provide health insurance only to the driver that they hire, and they only pay 20% of it, and they don't include the families or dependents. So for him to say that it's comparable, it's just like saying that with a ginsu knife and a scalpel. It's comparable because they're both knives. And another thing that bothers me with Mr. Green, there's quite a number of them. It's very difficult to really express to you how much he looked down at us without having to really say it, so incredibly on my face. If he didn't even bother to give us the respect of giving us a heads up, then to me, he doesn't even give respect to the people that built this university. Okay, so I said to him, I asked him, so that's why I can speak this way. I asked him personally, how long do you think it takes for Rolex to gain back their reputation? He didn't answer. So it's just like, to me, okay, we're not Ohio State, nothing wrong with them. We're not GW, we're not Howard. But you're trying to make us all like watches. So it's just like Rolex can never really be somehow said more superior to Seiko. You know what I mean? It's the same watch. There's no exclusivity, there's no excellence involved in that, because they cannot even tell the fake from the real one, because they're manufactured and assembled by the same people. The same with Louis Vuitton. One is $10,000 and one you can buy for $100, and they're the same because they contracted the same people in China. Okay? Then, to me, it seems like it's just like those guys from Wall Street. They want to save little pennies and lose dollars. Okay, now they said China is stealing our job. Well, wait a minute, it was your idea to transfer all American jobs there, and then when they learn how to do it, you complain you're being taken advantage of. He doesn't seem to have the spirit of Georgetown, in my estimation. And when they say he was hired by the board of directors and regents here, you guys gotta talk to them. You're the one who hired this man. Like, okay, what would, and I hope this never happened, what do you think will happen to the reputation of your diplomas? Okay, right? It's amazingly so short-sighted of him. We're just drivers, and we're challenging him face to face. He can still make that decision, Because he can override the recommendation of that committee, but he can also go away. He can do the damage, I hope not, and walk away. That's what they did with Ohio State. After they're done there, they went here. Some of their group went to Michigan State, doing the same thing. But we're not those type of organization. First of all, Ohio State is huge, 100 times bigger than us. And they're not, their profile and the people that go there are not the same as the people that goes here. I asked him, sir, do you know why we have buses named Faber and Xavier? Obviously, he doesn't really probably want to answer that. More than likely, he doesn't even know. Those guys were classmates of Ignatius. Okay, and Xavier is the guy that built the first Catholic Jesuit church in North America, St. Mary's County, Leonardtown. It still exists there. Before he went to Goa, that founded the Jesuit community there in India and built the Nagasaki Seminary, the only Christian organization that was not kicked out by the Tokugawa, shogun. They kick everybody else, the Anglicans, the Lutherans, they kick everybody out, but not the Jesuits. Why? Tokugawa shogun said, these guys, they just want to help teach us something. Those guys are trying to take us over. Okay, guess what? After the Hiroshima atomic bomb, they did later on bomb Nagasaki. Wiped everything up except the Jesuit seminary. It stands even today. Okay? People were saying, my God, that's an incredible miracle. Okay, maybe, right? But that's the kind of tradition you are part of. And one man could decide the reputation of this organization by just trying to save little pennies.
Yeah, and so I had no idea that the buses were called that, and that they were sort of therefore endowed with that tradition. And I also didn't realize that you all, it had not occurred to me that you all, as the drivers, do the really important work of connecting, the Georgetown campus to a broader community, and therefore, kind of projecting the Jesuit values out into the wider city and the wider area, and that's a crucial part of your work. And of course, I think Green, we could debate his smartness, but he's not taking seriously the fact that you are the experts of this work and its importance, and that you need to be sort of front and center in any changes to it. Mike, do you want to add anything about?
Well, Mr. Green, I get from the whole thing from the beginning, like Noel said, I don't believe anything that he said. Honestly, I just don't. I don't believe anything he says. I think in the newsletter said, running transportation is like running a business or something like that, and it's not a core value of yours.
I heard him say.
You know what I'm saying? So we've been here for 50 years. So now all of a sudden it's a business. The Dust Bus is a business now. You know what I mean? So I don't understand what he's saying. I don't understand where he's coming from. I don't know. It's like he's trying to justify what he's doing, but he has no justification to do what he's doing at all. Every time he says something, we research it and think about it. It's a lie.
Sometimes
It's
you
just
don't
not-
even
it's not
have to
true.
research
It's
it.
just not even true. And when you get asked questions about certain things and you just look at you and we'll get back to you and never do,
Right, never do.
that's saying something too, right? So I'm just saying, I just don't think the whole thing to me is just like I always said from the beginning, they just don't want to deal with us.
It smells
Anymore.
improper.
You know what I mean? And the disrespect of it is just not only to us, to y'all.
Yeah,
Y'all
exactly.
ride the bus every single day. We here for hours. Y'all here 24/7. Y'all ride it all the time. He doesn't respect us by not even telling us. He's telling us the real reason why. He's not considering y'all safety. He's not considering your parents' safety. You know what I'm saying? A trust. Your uncles, your grandmas, your aunties. You know what I'm saying? All that. He's not considering any of that stuff. You know what I mean? That's all he considers about is what he wants. Him and his crew wants to do.
Right. It's the same
What they
crew.
want to do.
The same crew.
You know what I mean? We have a new boss that they fired our own boss retired. So they supposed to be getting rid of transportation. So why are you hiring another person to lead transportation? We hadn't met this guy's been here for two and a half months, 2 months. We hadn't met this gentleman yet. If he walked in this room right now, I wouldn't know who he was. I couldn't tell you. I just know his name is Charlie. That's it. Hadn't met him,
Brown, Charlie Brown. That's him.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, they're doing a lot of things that you scratching your head and saying like, if you're trying to do this, why are you doing that? Why are you hiring somebody new to handle transportation, and transportation is pretty much gonna be gone? You're outsourcing it to somebody else to where they follow us. We don't follow them. They take our lead. They, you know what I'm saying, they follow us in everything. From schedule to routes to every single thing, they follow us.
Let me add to that, okay. On that meeting we had with him last time, okay. They asked me to stay behind, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so because of one of my comment was, how can you enforce the third party provider would have the proper comprehensive insurance? Remember, his lawyer was red-faced when I asked that. Okay, it's because I said, it's the only reason why I asked you that is that once you give them this contract, you don't have any control about what it is they're gonna really cover or not. And I have to say to them, like, look, years ago, somebody got run over by a contract bus, okay, and died, right, okay. Oh, everybody here was panicking. All right. They escaped accountability because that person is a homeless person and doesn't have any legal representation and doesn't really have any proper connection with any of the next of kin. So I asked him, what if this happened to a student that happened to have a real high, powerful caliber lawyer parent, right? Or a rich student, okay? You cannot escape that responsibility, even if you say, oh, it's done by a contract bus. That's why you gotta make sure the contract bus is properly, comprehensively insured, right? But anyway, you're gonna replace us. So you're trying to really get rid of the union in the campus. That's basically what it is. And however you want to turn this, you're trying to kick the union out. And believe me, I'm no fan of the union. They're giving us away for free, right? But why? Because they want the promise of Mr. Green, you still get to have the union dues for 3 years. What happens after 3 years? They can kick you out too, right? But anyway, contract transportation, it's low wage. You know what that means? They have high turnover. Okay, so the guys that got hired through GOTS, first of all, they're gonna observe what kind of attitude you have. Do you have empathy? Do you have a sense of responsibility? Okay? When they contract this transportation and somebody, they lose all that control and how to hire people, how to train them. By the way, he's been here long enough. We never had a follow-up training session, right? We used to have twice a year. When he took over, suddenly all of that gone. He said, I only start thinking about this July 3rd. It's very difficult for me to believe because you canceled the study. We had a study going on to replace the fleet because it's getting old. He canceled that, right? Okay, so To me, it's so suspicious. Now it's beginning to look like it makes sense. You want to really run down this equipment so that it's easier for you to say, look, this junk equipment. Of course it's junk. You know? And so I asked him. That's why I can speak like this, because I asked him in front of people. So Fiona was there. I said, we are the least of your problem. If you really want to save money with transportation, we're the least of your cost too. If you go, if you go into your accounting, you'll discover most of your cost is maintenance. You know, you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars just to keep these junks running. Okay? Guess what, too? We used to have 4 bus mechanics. We only have 1 now. They never hire anybody. Oh, only Lou. And the gigantic responsibility of Lou keeping all these freaking zombie buses running. Okay?
I mean, it's like
So like as if he's really doing everything he can to make sure this thing gets grounded to dirt, so it's easier for everybody else unaware of what he's doing, because we're so incredibly unimportant and stupid not to notice. To me, that's how it looks to me. That's why I have a certain kind of unkindness.
I mean,
Alright.
of course, I think you should be angry. Sorry, Mike, did I put you off? I mean, I'm just, and it sounds like a lot would have, if this contracting out goes ahead, there will be a bunch of problems with your benefits, with insurance on the buses, questions of safety, driver training. What else, what's gonna change in like your lives as workers otherwise? Like what?
Well, when I wake up in the morning, all you guys wake up in the morning, y'all still in school. So sometimes you sit on the edge of that bed, and you're like, I don't want to go in there today. When can I say not to go in there? All y'all have done that. When I wake up in the morning, I want to come. I want to come to G-Town. I want to see you guys. I want to see them. You know what I'm saying? I want to see everybody. I want to get my laugh on. You know what I mean? Because y'all are funny. You know what I'm saying? Especially after y'all guys party. Y'all are very funny. So I want to see you guys. I think I have no excuses. You know what I'm saying? To come to work for Georgetown. It's family. You know what I'm saying? You always happy to see your family, right? Even though there's a few of them that you don't want to see, but still, it's still family. And that's how I wake up in the morning. This would affect all of that. Because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know how you're going to get it. Don't know how they're going to run it. Don't know what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we always ran it. We ran everything, all the time. Not some of the time, all the time. You know, and it's going to be a major factor for us as well. Not just the health benefits and the ability, but you guys too. It's going to affect y'all in a major way. Because they have no clue of what to do, of how to run this transportation for this. They have no clue of how to do it at all. And it's going to affect everybody. Every single body is going to affect. Every single last person is going to affect. You know what I'm saying? When they start seeing them emails coming in and things of that nature and stuff like that, then we're like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? What did we do? Even though I don't think he's going to care, his crew is going to care, but it's going to affect us in a whole lot of ways, especially me, because I want to get to see you guys as much probably, because they, after 3 years after the contract up, he says they don't want the contract no more. And then what? And we out of the job again. You know what I mean? He said, I think when he first said it, when you guys handed him the petition, the signers, he said, I want to be clear, we're not getting rid of guns. What are you doing? what do you mean? You know what I mean? Another LIE again. You know what I mean? It seems like every other word this guy says.
It's very difficult to believe.
You know what I'm saying? And the people around them is not making it better. They're pushing it. And they know it's wrong. They know what they're doing. They know it's not right. And it's like they don't care. So it's going to affect us not more than just so as the benefits and it's the unknown of what's going to happen later on too as well, and the effect of everything that's going on. It's nothing like having a job to where you like. There's nothing like it. I know y'all probably got some friends that got a degree in this or working over here and that. They like, oh, I hate it so much. You know what I mean? All that type of stuff. You know what I mean? It's nothing like having that. When you have a job that you like coming to every single day, it's nothing like it. Nothing. And he's taking all that away. Trying to take all that away. If you know what I'm saying, if it weren't for you guys, he would have been did it. But he's trying to take all that away.
The board of directors in the regions, they're the only ones that I think can really do something about it.
Sorry guys, I gotta go. I gotta pick up the Oh, yeah, I come back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll see
not
you
gonna
later.
get lost.
I see y'all. Thank y'all again. Thank you.
I just want to follow up on what he's saying. Mr. Green claimed from, and a lot of people heard it, when I suggested maybe we should lease equipment because the technology have continuously evolved for more and more high, efficiency stuff. It doesn't have to be electric, I said, They, Cummins have an engine, an X15N engine that runs on propane or liquefied natural gas. There's zero emission, right? And it can even translate to hydrogen in the future, right? And it's definitely safer than any existing electric vehicles right now, that you don't have to worry about them spontaneously exploding, right? Okay, so I said, if you give it to the people on third party, who do you think will pay for the equipment? Each high quality electric bus tower size, the 41 passenger buses, they're about $1 million each. Oh, you think the third party apes would pay for that? No, it's gonna come from you, and it's gonna come from all the tuition and transportation fee that is coming from your students. All right? Okay. So he said, no one will lease anything to us. You're the chief operating officer. You either are absolutely incompetent or you gotta really be absolutely stone-faced to lie like that in front of all the, not just, he answered my question, but so many other people were listening, right? To say that no one would lease the equipment to Georgetown University was very difficult to believe, So that's just one of those things that bothers me with him. Like, okay, he stopped the search for equipment 3 years ago. Okay. And then he said he only thought about keeping these guts transferred to private transportation July 3rd. He never say how he was able to somehow determine what he claimed is this chosen Ames is the best option for Georgetown University. He never provided anything, right? So, okay, all of you guys paid tuition. Do you think you should get diploma if you don't attend the classes and pass the exam? No. Why can't he defend his thesis? Okay? So, there's so many things that it really feels so bad that the board of directors and regents of Georgetown University find it appropriate and proper to hire a man like Mr. Green. It's really quite a reflection on the board of directors and regents that has the responsibility to hire people that will replace Don Joya. What did John Joya tell him? Don't get rid of guts. Okay, this guy is a Hoya, right? Okay, he's the first non-Jesuit priest to be president of Georgetown University. Okay? And he's coming from somewhere that didn't have the notion of pura personalis, didn't have any Hoya background, spirit. But yet, his decisions could affect all of you. Okay, hey, I told him, Fiona would say this. I said, sir, we are all willing to lose our job. All you have to do is show us why is it going to save Georgetown money and why it would be efficient. It's almost a month now. He haven't even written anything. Except we've made up our mind. That's exactly what it is. He's making up his mind for all of you. But most of all, the one that hurts me the most, he does not respect the people that gave their lives building this place. Zero. Because if he doesn't even want to tell people that will be the first casualty of his decision like us, he didn't even bother to tell us, how can I possibly have confidence that he would respect those people's effort? That he would respect the tradition that built the reputation of this place? No. That's why I asked Fiona before, please get in touch with the alumni. Please get in touch with board of directors, the regents. They're the only ones that can really make a difference here. Because he can override all of us. Okay, what are the chances of his success getting these changes without any impact study? How would you like it? Oh, by the way, we will tear down your house and dig a hole there because we think there's water under it, without having any kind of even voodoo way to really kind of figure out that if there's going to be any water there. You see, I mean, this one absolutely feels so sad to me that he would be such a person like that. Nothing personal. His job is to do what he thinks is right. But as everybody have learned, not everybody's idea of what's right are not to be right, because he doesn't listen.
And I think this is a pattern we're seeing across the university in various ways, like hiring freezes, growing class sizes. All the workers and students across campus are going to feel this in different ways, which is why your struggle is so important, because you guys are being hit the hardest within this pattern right now. And I think like your fight is really a fight for all of us and for the integrity of the institution, as you've been pointing out. But I'm curious, I'm curious if you want to add anything either about like what the struggle means for you and what the fear is around contracting.
Yeah, but I'm not good to speak for now.
Okay, no pressure.
Understandably, but it's affecting me, since I was working in National Airport, 2018, I'm coming to here for benefits.
Right.
So, that time, the airport, they pay me like $26. When they hired me in Georgetown, $16. So it's a big difference, but I got a kids, I think about my future, for my kids. So at this time, after 8 years, my older kid is 11th grade now. So the kid is gone from me. So that's concern for me. It's affecting. I don't expect like this, from Georgetown.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, right, because these changes have effects on you as individuals, but your families, your communities.
He's not alone in that sentiment. That includes me too. I got a 11th grader right now too. So, and like, I don't know if I should share this with you, but my wife went to visit the doctor yesterday because she missed her period. And this morning at 4:30 in the morning, she said, "Oh my God, it came today." And I said, "My God, thank you." Because, they said, "Oh, you're going to have TAP for 10 years." Well, that's not really, not. So all I'm really saying is, it's not a well thought of idea unless it was really planned. Like I thought he's being impulsive. But then as more information gets revealed, a pattern emerged where it seems like this thing is really his plan from Ohio State to here. You know, almost everything that he have done since he's been here leads up to where we are now. And if we didn't have to speak out, maybe he gets away with it. He's forcing it to a conclusion that is self-evident because everything else is getting destroyed, right? Well, he didn't count on Mr. Lu being a brilliant and hardworking bus driver mechanic that can keep our fleet at least limping along, right? So, you know, there are many things like the student support we have. He didn't count on that too, probably, right? Or he probably didn't count on somebody speaking out and sort of like challenging him in just very straight, just ordinary questions. You know, like he doesn't even answer those really obvious questions like, why didn't you at least give us a heads up? No answer. That's the kind of person that's leading this university that I think deserves, okay, someone that will protect and preserve the tradition that many people have given their lives. If anything else, okay, he can get rid of us, fine. But at least honor those people that can no longer speak for themselves now because they're long gone.
Well, and communicate and consult with the people who are the most affected. You all, students, like it's so frustrating to have these decisions just like sort of unilaterally imposed without any consultation, any respect for the knowledge, the experience, the skill that you all bring to the university.
Or proof that it actually will result in savings and efficiently as
Right.
place.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Of course. Well, and I think it, you know, we can view it cynically as a means, as you've been pointing out, of like breaking up like worker strength, the strength of unions, also like the sort of norms around employment and the university, and trying to break up the kinds of community and solidarity that have been actually demonstrated in this struggle between students, between workers, between teachers, etc. So it's so important what you all are doing. I'm wondering if either of you want to say more about like what being a guts driver means to you, what this community means to you, and like what's keeping you going through this really long and challenging struggle.
Well, first of all, being a GUTS bus driver is like the upper echelon of what we call the blue-collar workforce. Yeah. We don't get our hands dirty, not unless the thing is greasy enough for you to touch. So, we are also the most qualified among, you know, the people they consider like blue-collar people. So there's also a responsibility that is unique with us. Like we're not like plumbers where you only see them if you got a leak, right? They see us all the time if they want to go somewhere, you know, to connect themselves to places. So they don't only depend on us for their ability to go from A to B. They also expect a certain kind of, what do you call, reliability, that you're not going to do something stupid, right? And that's what's really something that maybe he does not really think that much about. I asked him, sir, okay, you're talking about 2 million passengers a year that rides the GUTS system. How many of those 2 million do you think rides with our GUTS drivers? And I would say to him, I said in the meeting, I bet you it will be at least 85% or higher, right? Because those other lines, I said, if you try to get the number of passengers of those other lines that you contracted, they're not very busy. They don't have much ridership. If you want to save money, why don't you cut all those extra little bus trips there? You know, if you really want to save money, because we usually don't have that. It's only when Lisa started getting on board, which is your assistant, that started having all those extra things that increase the amount of budget you have to dedicate there. When I requested another bus for Arlington, I was denied because they say I can't justify it by ridership, right? So why don't you apply that to the ones Lisa opened there? You know, what are their ridership like? Can you justify them, right? That led to my claim, Mr. Green, we are the least of your problem. You understand? So to me, there's so many inconsistency, things that doesn't seem to be right. And all of those people, Miss Dana, Miss Lisa, they're all just doing what he's trying to direct them to do. It just makes it more callous. Because they behave, they walk around like they own the place. I have interaction with people that they replace. They don't behave like that. You know what I mean? They know if you're a bus driver, but they don't really look down at you. You know? But they seem to have no real concept of that. It's just that we're in charge. This is what you gotta do. And that's it. And you can ask questions, but then they'll give you a certain kind of attitude where you better watch what you're gonna say. I'm at my age right now where guys ask me, I don't want to be doing this, but they ask me, right? Because they know Noel got a mouth. So please, can you do this for us? Okay? Because I just can't understand why he is in the position where he is. To me, it's the biggest mystery to me. You know? And when I heard the anecdote that Mr. John DeJoya asked him, no, don't cut guys. He didn't even really pay attention. The guy is the previous president of this place for 23 years. You know? So that's why just so many things that is attributable to his action that does not have any close to the notion of pure personality. He's so incredibly detached from that notion. And the way he carries himself, when I asked him that question, in front of so many people, nobody would list us the bosses. Oh. I didn't want to further increase the tension by saying, you're either going to be an incompetent operation officer or absolutely just thinking we're all just so stupid, we'll take what your word is, you know?
And you all are not stupid. I think you should be getting to make the decisions about how the bus runs, or at least have an important sort of seat at the table. You know. Sorry, I haven't managed our time very well.
Okay.
Do we have time for a question from the audience, or should we start?
It's 2 p.m., but if you guys want to like stick around and chat, we can maybe make it a little less formal, if that's okay.
Right.
Any last words?
Thank you all for your support. But like what someone said, actually there's a symbiotic relationship between students and drivers, because we kind of like have the same kind of like desire, you know, to get to point A, point B without any real incident, without any kind of like tension. So actually, you guys are the ones paying for all this service. So you ought to have also a voice for it, you know? So he cannot just say whatever he wants to say and think that that's it. I have to say what I have to say because I want to keep this job and I want to remain with Georgetown. When they asked me about Abe's, I told Lisa and Donna and everybody in that room, oh, Abe's is good family. I've known these people for 30 years. But that doesn't mean I want to work for them. I want to stay here. You know. So nothing personal about anyone, right? But yet, you are the ones that's going to be mostly affected by it. Okay, you might graduate and long gone. But if the reputation of Georgetown suffers, your diploma would be a little bit less valuable, just like Rolex is. All the collectors of Rolexes say, oh my God, we want to kill that guy in Zurich. You know? Anyway, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Shane.